We'll get a new tripod thing.
Thanks, Connor. Yeah.
We're live.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Actually, we're live now.
We're gonna do it again.
No, which we're trying to reconnect there.
Oh, is there
they're
something
live.
in there?
They're live on Facebook.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Good early afternoon. It is. It's Tuesday, but it may as well be like, July 18th with the weather. It's like a balmy 83 degrees or something, and up here on the rooftop in Midtown Manhattan, it's like 183 degrees. Great. We're going to start moving around here. We're going to look good. Yeah. Can these two share?
I think so.
Suddenly I look a little bit better. Very soon I'm going to look even better. So I am dying to tell you what I did last night. And it took every... Yeah, we can move that up. It took every ounce of my being, Lance, not to call you last night and tell you about it. And even though folks may be watching that were there last night, I'm going to take a chance not...
Where were you? Why
Well,
didn't you
that's
call
what I'm
me?
gonna tell
You and
I didn't know
Susan-
what it was.
Maybe you could have called Susan and the two of you could have conference called me.
Okay, so Lance is making reference to a minor little skirmish that we all had on the air yesterday between Susan Krakauer.
It's two of my favorite people, totally. Took me and threw me under the bus.
Basically, of both CNBC fame and now Anthony Scaramucci fame, and Lance Lafer of Jenna Wolf fame, I like to call it. Anyway.
Our infamy.
Infamy, yes, is much better off. So we had a tiff, if you will, on the show yesterday.
A lover's quarrel.
Was it? Lover's quarrel. It was a therapy session.
Yes.
But all's well that ends well, and we're all good, and everything's wonderful. But that being said,
Sure,
that's
we'll
not...
go with that. Susan, I hope you're not listening.
Oh, look, I got some bread on me. That's not why I didn't call you. I didn't call you last night because I got invited to this dinner. And normally, I like to say I usually spend half my life making plans and the other half canceling them. I probably would have canceled. I was exhausted, white. I hadn't eaten. I was just tired. I took Harper to karate by 4 o'clock. By the time I came home at like 5, I couldn't even move. And this dinner was at 7:30, which may have been midnight. So I went kicking and screaming. And I went with a friend of mine, Helene, who runs and owns and started City Row, which is half rowing, half like boot campy type weightlifting, full body exercises. An amazing workout. It's a couple of gyms, one in Union Square, one on the Upper East Side. She invited me. She's like, look, it's dinner, blah, 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 interesting people, blah, 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 dinner, blah, 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 come meet me, blah, 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 Upper East Side. That's basically the extent of the information I got. So as you would imagine, I tried to get out of it, but
why did you try to get out of it?
Just because I was tired and I didn't want to go, and I was a baby. I was being a baby. In hindsight, I shouldn't have even tried to get out of it, but I didn't fully try to get out of it. I ended up going. So I go and I meet her there, and I said, so it's the 2 of us? It's 3 of us? She's like, oh no, there's going to be 16 of us. I said, what happened? She said, there are going to be 16 of us, and this blah, 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 table, and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be interesting people. I still didn't fully understand what it was I was getting into. So we walk into this restaurant, and we walk all the way to the back. We walk all the way downstairs through some like weird maze, and we ended up in this like really cool room of this Italian restaurant in the basement, all
What's
made
the name
up.
of the restaurant?
I don't know if I guess I should. I could say it. It doesn't matter. It's this Italian restaurant. We're on. There's this huge square table, and about 16 people sit down. Maybe it was one more. Now I didn't really understand, or I had no idea what was happening. And you couldn't sit next to the person that brought you. So there's what's called a host. So Helene was my host, and she brought 2 people, me and this other guy. The 3 of us weren't allowed to sit next to each other. You have to sit next to someone you haven't met. And there's this one guy, this older gentleman, and I honestly...
Someone my age?
Even older.
Oh, wow.
And I thought he worked there. He didn't say anything. He was quiet the whole time. Then we're all sitting down, and it was like a scene out of that movie Clue. Remember the movie Clue, where they all came and no one knew why they were there until the butler turned around and started explaining it, why they were all there. So I didn't really understand it. Then all of a sudden, this guy that I thought worked there, his name is Bruce, he goes, welcome to the, and I won't even say the name of it because I'm not sure if I can. Basically, it's this once a month secret meeting of the city's most interesting people. Oh, and I thought this was like a page out of like Da Vinci Code. I honestly was like ready for Tom Hanks to walk in. Never recognized anyone, but you could tell like that person looked like a doctor, this person looked like an actor, but this is just me guessing what everybody did. So he goes, the way tonight is going to work, and he spoke so eloquently, I thought it was the clue. He goes, the way tonight is going to work, you don't have to worry about being hungry or being thirsty or needing anything. Food will just keep coming out, so you just keep eating, and the minute you're done eating, they will refill your plate. All you're concerned with is listening when you're not speaking and speaking when you're not listening. And everyone is going to get 15 minutes on the clock, and you need to tell me anything you want to tell me for 15 minutes starting from age 7. So go back to when you were age 7 and tell me what makes you interesting, why you think you're at this table. You obviously were brought here because your host found you interestingly enough. And I'm like, how can anyone be more interesting than me? You know, like, born in Jamaica, raised in Haiti. You know, mom had bullet holes in her car. Like, we were forced to leave the country. Like, we came zooming up to the United States.
Who would shoot at your mom?
No, they didn't shoot at her. They shot at her car. She got caught in the middle of a thing. Anyway, you know, then there's
What's
another
thing?
Gunfights.
Oh, okay.
There's getting.
So she sought it out. She drove there. Or?
No, she went to the grocery store, but it was so bad at the time in Haiti. There were like stray bullets everywhere. People were just they were looting, and right before we left Haiti. I never actually told you that whole story, but it was interesting. Anyway, all of it, you know, like, and I'll tell you that what I talked about afterwards. But I figure who could be more interesting than I? So the first guy starts talking, and he's like, oh yeah, so when I was 7, I had a dog, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a long night. And then the host, Bruce, asks questions while he's talking, and he's like, questions that you would never ask. He's like, so, you know, my mom got me a dog. Well, what did your mom do? Like, I would never think, well, my mom was an Olympic figure skater. Okay, and he's like, but well, my parents got divorced when I was 9. Well, what did your dad do? Well, he was like a doctor for whatever, one of the professional sports teams, and his brother is this doctor who does all this stuff for third world countries, and his sister does this, and sister got like accepted to Princeton at like age 12, like the most unbelievable stuff, like the best of everyone's resume put together, that was him. Fascinating. Then comes Helene, my friend, who I thought I knew everything about, and she goes and she talks about her whole life, and her mom in high school became a rabbi, like,
where was she
randomly
from?
She was from Chappaqua, randomly,
wow.
which is where I grew up after I moved to the United States, and her mom became a freelance rabbi, which was weird to her.
What kind of like rabbi? Like an Orthodox rabbi or a Reform?
A Reform rabbi. And she talked about being embarrassed about that, and it was just super, super interesting. She's such a great story to tell.
Being embarrassed about coming from Chappaqua, or being embarrassed about her mom being a rabbi?
Both.
Okay.
No, but about the mom being a rabbi, which
okay.
I wouldn't think. And her dad works at, I don't even know if I should be saying all this stuff, but he works at a big hedge fund here in the city, like just a really big guy here in the city, and so there was a lot of like expectations placed on her, and she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do, but she loved social media and was so good at branding, and yada yada yada. She goes on to start, she's so young, and she started City Row, like this string of boutique fitness classes, and I tell you, she's not going to end there. She's got big plans.
What is City Row?
City Row is a rowing class, but it's half rowing, half off the rower to do like a boot camp type thing.
Okay.
And they branded it, and it's a great class. It's really a lot of fun, and it's one of the safest
Is it as good for you
workouts
as golfing?
Much better. Then the third
Maybe
woman
I'll go
goes.
one day.
Listen to this third woman, okay? Her mom had her when she's so interesting. Like, I really want to bring her on the show. Her mom had her when she was 14. At age 7, her mom disappeared or was out of the picture, and she had to take care of her 4-year-old. At age 7, she was fully, like,
wow.
taking care of the 4-year-old, and decided one day she was going to leave, packed up, went to her fraternal father's house, and they turned out to be crack addicts in the 80s. And, I mean, this girl had nothing, and, like, I mean, literally when I tell you nothing, and no advantage, and no one pushing her, and I won't tell you the whole story because I really want to bring her on the show, worked her way up to being... She also works at the same hedge fund, believe it or not, that Helene's dad does. It was just so fascinating. So then it's my turn. And I'm like, well, I really thought I had the most... And everyone was like, well, how are you gonna top that? It sucks to be you. You have to go after that. Meanwhile, I'm like a horse. Like, I can't get the food down fast enough. Like a scene out of National Lampoon where, like, if I don't eat, it's going to be taken away.
What
and
kind
then
of
here
food
comes,
were you?
It was all Italian. So I started with mozzarella, with the tomato and the pepper and the big salads, and 3 or 4 different salads, and then there was like chicken and salmon and pasta and vegetables, and I mean, the minute your plate was empty, they brought more food. It was really such an interesting setup they had. So one by one, everybody went. They had a timer on the clock, and they all told their stories. And the way this was couched was this is like the round table of interesting people in New York City. So it's
kind of like our show.
It's just like our show. So one of the things I said, and I told my story, and I started born in Jamaica, raised in Haiti, political strife in Haiti, moved to the United States, didn't know how to dress, didn't know how to speak, didn't know how to do anything. I was bullied throughout high school, went off and sort of conned my way basically into getting a job at the first market I ever worked at. There was no reporter job, it was a sportscaster. My news director harassed me, ended up burning my resume tape, how I had to like stay up every night and like make a new one, and nobody wanted to hire me, ended up getting a job, like the whole thing. Then about coming out on national television, and then leaving the Today Show, and then starting the show. And I got excited when I mean, all that stuff was super exciting in my life. It's all the stuff that shapes you, that makes you who you are. But when I talked about the show, I actually got excited. I said, this show is basically this dinner, but every single morning, right? I don't have time, energy, or patience for anyone who doesn't want to put the effort into talking about themselves or their work or their direction in life. Like, we're all in search of interesting people to inspire us and to challenge us and to make us whole. Like, that's what we want. And I go, that's what this show's all about. And we'll stumble a little bit and we'll trip, and we're kind of rough around the edges. But we're gonna get there. And I said, and I talked about you, and I said I actually work with someone who could pretty much like run this entire table. I said, but he's got a vision, and to be around him is to like fall for the journey that he's on, and you just want to be a part of it, and that's what I'm doing. And anyway, I wrapped it up, and when I was done, they applauded. They were like super happy and excited. And anyway, afterwards they asked me to be a secret host, which means I passed their test. I get to bring 2 interesting people
Connor
to the next big dinner. So it's going to be Connor and iPhone number 3. So that's going to be amazing. Anyway, it was really, really cool and really fascinating. I ate a good meal. I almost didn't want to leave. And I'm really happy I went, and I'm really excited that I didn't cancel. It would have been terrible if I did. And I just love that we're doing that in the world today. That there's someone, this guy he's a doctor, he's a surgeon, he doesn't have time to be like organizing this. So he does this once a month, and the other time once a month, he has a political roundtable. And he picks one big issue, and they basically just talk about it for like a couple hours.
Actually, an interesting sidebar to this is, like 22 years ago, we started this thing called the Sohn Conference, which is the most interesting investment idea conference, and it's grown to where we've raised like $75 million to fight pediatric cancer in the New York area. Originally, we had dinners. We used to just have like hedge fund managers go around a table and share their most interesting investment idea for 15 minutes, and that was kind of the origin of the idea for the Sohn Conference. So it's interesting to sort of see it in reverse this way.
Well, I don't know anything about finance or hedge funds, so I would be lost at that dinner. They'd get to me and be like, why? I could do a sit-up. So next. But yeah, that's what it was, and it was really interesting. And it was good because up until that moment that I got there and was able to speak out loud and talk for myself, I've had this song from the Frozen soundtrack in my head for going on 2.5, 3 months now.
What song?
For the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be whatever it is. Right. Anyway, no joke, it's easily 2.5 months. It's all night, it's the first thing in the morning, it's all day, and I can't kick it. I can't get it out. And the only thing that really, the only thing that really helped was telling my story at this dinner, and then it went away. And I was really, really happy about it. And let's not bring it up again, and let's hope that it's all good. As you can see, we are back on the roof. So that we can all get a little sun today. We have a really, really fun show. I'm excited about it. When I was at the Today Show, I did a story on this comedian. I forget what the story was and why we even did it, but I remember meeting this guy, Chris Stefano, and he was really talented and really nice. Like super, super nice and sweet and all of it. And I just felt like our paths would cross one day, so he's going to come back on today. Chandler's coming on to sing. Right? He's going to do some singing. We've got Steve Hurt to come back. Oh, did anyone see that Jets game last night? I know Ryan Fitzpatrick didn't.
What was the score?
It's like 28-3.
Oh wow! I was watching the baseball game.
They benched him. They benched Fitzpatrick finally.
Oh, they
not,
did.
But not at halftime, when you would think. They
First
benched him
quarter?
in the fourth quarter.
Oh, in the fourth quarter.
There was like 8 minutes left or something in the game. Sorry, that was terrible. I just looked at my phone on the show.
That's okay.
They benched him then they brought Geno Smith in, and I really was not in the mood for a Jets quarterback controversy this year. I was happy that we finally landed on someone Harvard-educated, Ryan Fitzpatrick, everybody. But so that happened. So we'll talk to Steve Hurt. What happened last night in baseball? I'm going to get to that, but okay. I was going to.
Are you introduce? Last night the Blue Jays lost to the Indians, so the Indians are up 3-0.
So Indians are a game away from heading to the World Series.
Yeah, well, they I think are going to be. They have to win tonight. So
yeah, they're a game away.
The Blue Jays have to win tonight.
Right. So the
they
Indians
just have to
are
win
a
one
game away.
Game. Blue Jays just have to win one game.
I don't understand. To get back into it?
No, to play tomorrow. One game at a time.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay, Dalai Lama. One game at a time.
One game at a time.
Tribe needs one more game, and they're off to the World Series.
Tribe needs to win one game. The Blue Jays need to win one game.
This must be tough for you, as someone who spent time in Cleveland, and as someone who's rooting for the Blue Jays. Where do you fall in all this? Are you a Terry Francona
it's not
fan?
even. I was never an Indians fan. I used to live in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh.
So I was a Reds. I was there during the Big Red Machine days, like Pete Rose.
Sure, and Marge Schatz.
But do you think he should be allowed in the Hall of Fame? By
Marge Schatz?
No, it was before Marge.
Oh. Do I think he should be allowed? I think that before the steroid era, I would say no. Right? I'd say no. Bet on games. He bet on his own games. If you're going to say that, yeah, but look at the work he did on the field, well, then I'm sorry, but you can't. I don't like separating that. You're still a human being. I know that no one agrees with me with this stuff, but you're a human being, and the person you are on the field has to it doesn't have to mirror in any way, but let it reflect a little bit of the person you are off it. But when the person off it does bad things towards on it, does that make sense? It's not like he did something completely separate from baseball. The bad thing he did had to do with the stuff he did on the field.
Right.
But I also don't think that Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, I'm sorry that I can't in good faith say they should be in the Hall of Fame. And don't get me wrong, I know that there are a lot of other guys that have used, that are a lot smaller than they are, that you would never suspect have used, and maybe they've gotten an edge and an advantage, but those were the big guys, and those are the guys that are up for being in the Hall of Fame. But I also hear these crazy stories, like Mark McGwire wakes up every day with these ridiculous nosebleeds, and he can't remember where he is. And I'm like, was it worth it? Was it all worth it? Or didn't Lyle Alzado, remember Lyle Alzado?
Sure.
He talked about that too. He said, look at my life right now. It wasn't worth it. No. It's just so many people. I don't know. So my answer is no, I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But I also don't think that because when I was 8, I was down visiting my grandparents in Florida, and he was at one of these local restaurants. And
he meaning Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. And I went up to him, and my grandfather's like, go get him to sign something. So I went with my grandfather's hat and asked if he would sign it. And he said, no, you have to buy the hat here. I won't sign it for you. And I said, well, I don't have any money. And he said, then I'm not signing your hat. And I said,
do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame for
Absolutely not. That's the only reason. I don't care about that betting stuff, but he was a total jerk to me. I don't like jerks at all. I don't like mean people. I have problems with mean people. I really do. We're not all perfect, but don't be mean. That's just going out of your way. Anyway, we also have, now this is a really big deal, and then we're going to say hi to people. After all the crap that I give Lance Lafer every day, how he's so successful except in marriage, so strong except when it comes to marriage, so powerful and such a visionary and so intelligent and focused except when it comes to marriage. Guess who we have on today? Not his marriage counselor or his divorce attorney, but we have his third ex-wife, Alicia Lafer.
Yeah, she's still going with Alicia Lafer.
Alicia Lafer is on the show. It won't
Alicia
be for long.
Cohn Lafer.
Alicia Cohn Lafer. She is starting this fashion business. We'll explain it more. And she's very fancy. She's much fancier than Lance is.
She's better looking than I am.
She's much better looking than Lance.
She's funnier. She has a better personality.
Yeah, obviously Lance wants her
Everybody wondered why she married me. Nobody wonders why she divorced me. More time?
No, thank you. I don't eat mango. I don't eat mango, I don't eat eggplant, I don't eat banana, and I don't eat mayonnaise.
It's mango. Good.
Okay, so that's our guest list for today. If you can pick a theme out of all that, I dare you to write in. Let's say hi to some people.
All right, we got a lot of hellos. Sarah Dunn Sipolsky. I'm going to get it right, Sarah, one day.
Hi, Sarah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Rhonda says hi. Hope you're having a fantastic day.
Help me, Rhonda.
George Bertram says good morning.
Checking in, George.
Katie Whitman. Good morning.
Hi,
Jenna
Katie.
et al.
Why don't you do it before you put food in your mouth? Can you do that?
Yeah, actually,
You have
people were
4
criticizing
hours
me
to
yesterday
eat.
that I was rustling papers during an interesting
Yes.
interview. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have to learn.
4 hours to eat, so we're only like 8 minutes in. Let's just hold off on the food if you can. Read a couple, or I can talk while you eat.
Okay.
We love each other. That's why we.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm far from perfect, as you will find out today.
Let's hear it.
The theme of today's show, following up on yesterday's show. George said good morning. Katie Whitman says good morning, Jenna et al. I think I'm et al. Now with
Hi, Katie.
Connor. Gentry Bradford says hi.
It's a great name, Gentry.
Yeah, I got it
Lance
right.
is pronouncing it right.
Robin Jacobs says good morning. Glad to see you back.
Hi.
Randy says good morning, Jenna.
Good morning, Randy.
Shane Cobb says good morning from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
We had Periscope. We had a hello from Russia. We have good morning, Go Indians from Spike. Somebody is saying that there's no description. He just wanted to know on Periscope what the show is. Maybe we can reset the show for.
Sure. This is the Jenna Wolf Show because that was the only name that I was given, and we're a 4-hour daily show. To be honest, dude, it's really about nothing. But we're gonna figure it out.
It's about interesting people.
We're gonna make it about interesting people, but it's more fun to say it's about nothing. But yeah, so we're here for a while. We're just gonna talk to a bunch of comedians and actors and fun, interesting people who have great stories to tell today.
Okay, Candace Jones says, hey, Jenna.
Hi.
Norma Jean says she misses seeing you.
Norma Jean. Hi.
Marvin Kirschenbaum, who was in the house yesterday.
Hi, Marvin.
Good morning from Columbus, Ohio. Marvin, I used to live in Columbus, Ohio.
Marvin.
Columbus is, I think, the best city in America. Jessica Rule, good morning, Jenna from Rhode Island.
Hi, Jess.
Kay White says, good morning from Southern Illinois. Shannon Galule says, girl, ask Steph where she got that bracelet.
I know. Let's do it right now.
You look amazing.
Hold on. Let's do it right now. Every day I tell her I'm going to ask her. We're going to ask her right now. She gets annoyed. I must call her 15 times a day. We're going to call her right now.
I'm going to have a mango.
Try to be a little quiet with it because people commented yesterday that you were eating too loud. Hi, where did you get this bracelet for me? I know you're busy. Everyone's been asking. It sounds like you said you know OA 250. Can you just text it? Can you just text it to me? Can you text it to me so I can read it on the air? Okay, bye. Okay, so she's going to text it to me.
Excellent. Somebody was asking if this is a Periscope show or a TV show.
So this is a Periscope show. It's a live streaming show, which means we're on live from 11 to 3. You can catch it later. Oh, here it comes. But yeah, it's a Periscope show. We're also simulcasted live on Twitter and Facebook Live. The bracelet, once and for all, remember this because I'll never do it again, is Uno de 50. It's like Spanish, English, and French all at the same time. Uno, U-N-O, de D-E, 50, the number 50. There you go.
Excellent.
There you go.
So the next comment here was, it's kind of the Seinfeld show of Periscope.
This is the.
That was a comment. That was somebody commented. It went.
Whoever said this is the Seinfeld show of Periscope, I literally love you and I'm more than happy to bear you a child if that's something you're interested in. That's exactly what I wanted.
Oh, we get to film that?
This is what I want. I want this to be the Seinfeld version of Periscope, the show about nothing on Periscope.
I want the Seinfeld show to be the Jenna Wolf show version of this thing that used to be called TV.
Okay.
So that
what he said.
Yeah. Like. Yeah. I mean.
I want people to be like, that's like the, yeah.
That is going to be bigger than that. All right. Okay, we did that. Ann Schreiber says, I love the silver and leather bracelet on your right arm, which we discussed again. Marilyn Show says, good morning, Jenna from Indiana.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Jessica Feldman says, hi from Jessica from downstairs.
Jessica! Can you say hi to Jessica? This is Jessica's cabana.
Somebody
Hi, Jess.
said here
Thank
that
you
you're
very,
the
very much. Appreciate it.
you're the most you're the most hardworking woman on Periscope.
Okay.
It's like,
I will definitely take that as a compliment.
Right. They want to know if you have a sidekick.
Yeah. His name is lance, but
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be filmed.
Yeah.
But only people like Jess.
He wants the people to
see
keep
him.
coming back. Martha Stollard says hello from South Carolina.
Hey, Martha.
Gentry Bradford says, sound amazing. My dad did something like that in New York City called the Leopard. I guess this was like the dinner.
Oh, yeah. I forget what this one's called. I should see if anyone emailed me about it, if anyone's actually watching the show.
Shannon said that she just learned something new. Wow. Shannon, if you can point out what it was that you learned that was new. Had a lot going on here today. I just lost everybody. Kay Nash Stalling says, good morning from North Carolina.
Hey.
Brandy Joe says, I was thinking of you this morning while I did one of your pyramid workouts.
I did a pyramid workout too.
I love them. Any chance you are considering selling a video with your pyramid workouts on it?
I should. If you scroll all the way back on my pro Facebook page, I have a video. I have 2 or 3 pyramids on there. And you know they have like 25 million views.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was looking this way so you could see me.
Okay. Bob Brooks, it is interesting to watch you talking with the sound turned off for a minute. You're very demonstrative. Could you do it without using your hands?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see how long I can go without using my hands.
Stacy Barnett says, roll tide. Stacey's
Every day,
back,
Stace.
Roll tide.
Every day, I love
They're
it.
rolling until they roll into Columbus, Ohio, I think. What's that? Marcy Olin says, good morning, Jay.
That's my friend Marcy.
Yes, she's still exhausted from Saturday in the park with your kids.
So, yeah, Marcy was like, oh, I'll come to the park and play with your kids. I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. You just don't know. She's like, how hard could it be? Meanwhile, like 8 minutes later, she was like on the floor being resuscitated by like the local park authorities. But Marcy's going to come on the show, Lance.
Excellent. Why, does she want to come on tomorrow?
Do you want to come on tomorrow, Marcy? Tell us if you want to come on tomorrow.
Somebody
You can bring
just
someone
canceled
from
this
work.
morning.
No, don't joke. Marcy, can you come on tomorrow? Tomorrow's
Marcy?
Wednesday. Tomorrow?
Marcy,
Yeah.
answer when you can.
See if Marcy answers. Yeah.
All right. Joe Proctor says, good morning.
Hi, Joe.
Elizabeth Tate, who's returned. She's here very often.
Elizabeth is the woman you think is from Hershey, but
she's
not.
from Indiana or something, or Idaho, or someplace else. I'm wrong.
All right, I need my hands back. I'm sorry, buddy.
Jim Montgomery says second. I don't know what he's seconding. Oh, roll tide. Joe Proctor, good morning. I don't know how many more times. Tracy Walker says, hi, Jenna. It's summer again.
It is hot in the city.
Marcy's in Dallas. She's in Dallas tomorrow. She can do Thursday. Marcy, you're booked Thursday. We'll be in touch.
All right, Marcy, you're on for Thursday, so don't make other plans.
Catherine, Nicole says hi from Ohio.
Hi, Nicole.
Catherine Parker says good morning from South Carolina.
Wow, everybody's checking in today.
Irene says Lance, Cubs are Indians. Our Dodgers are Blue Jays. I'm still going to go Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Blue Jays taking the Dodgers in 4. Debbie Elson. Well, when that happens, you don't know? Okay, good morning from Indy. I love your show every day. Go Cubs.
Thank you very much. Cubbies.
Catherine Parker says, don't apologize for your beliefs. It takes integrity to speak the truth. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Robert Wolf says, good morning. Wolfman is here. Actually, on that topic, I was talking to somebody this weekend, and we're talking to them about the show.
Right.
And there's this like urban legend out there that you're Warner Wolf's daughter.
I know. We would think that, right? Everyone asks me, especially when I was in sports.
So who is Warner Wolf, first of all?
Warner Wolf is a longtime sportscaster. Many, many years at the local CBS affiliate here in New York, Channel 2,
He had
WCBS.
like a famous saying, right? Like,
let's go to the videotape.
Right.
It was Warner Wolf. And I thought I was the cat's meow when I was at my first job in Binghamton. And I got out there and went to roll the tape, and I said, let's go to the videotape. And the news director, Jeff Gray, yanked me into his office afterwards by what seemed like an oversized collar. Your wife would not be pleased. And said, if you ever say that again, you will never work here another day. It was such an ass. That's the guy that burned my resume tape, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So I never said it again.
Why did he want you not to do it?
Because he's like, that's Warner's thing, and if you ever could get to be where Warner is, then you could use it. Well, I did. I got to Channel 7, which is comparable to Channel 2 here in New York. I never said it again. Warner was always a great friend, Love him to death. Unfortunately, the myth is false. He is not my dad or my sugar daddy. We always call him my sugar daddy because he's Warner Wolf. And,
Right.
my last name is Wolfeld, but we changed it for TV because in Philadelphia they felt like it was too long of a name to be a sportscaster. So Wolf is not my real last name.
Now, there was another sportscaster on MSG, Bob Wolf, right? Like,
Yes, not as well known.
but he was like an institution on MSG.
Yes, for a long time, but that was before my time.
Gotcha. So
Again, not related to me.
not related to you. Robert Wolf, that was the Wolfman. Robin Jacob says, loved listening to your story from last night.
Thank you. You should come with me, Robin.
Do you know Robin?
No.
Oh, okay. Julie Garcia says, hi, you're fun to watch.
Thanks, Jewel.
Dina Hayes says, good morning, Jenna, go Cubbies.
Hey, Dean. You like how I'm nicknaming everybody?
Anthony West says, hi, much love.
Tony.
Much love dollars. I don't know.
I don't know.
Julie Garcia says, hello from San Jose. Jim Rennick from Tupelo, Mississippi says hello, and it's pretty there.
Here?
I
It
guess
looks
he's saying
pretty.
it's really nice here. It's a good day.
It is.
Jessica Stott says, morning from Chicago. Paco Pryor says, this show is making me thirsty.
Yeah, so are these pretzels. Throw out some Seinfeld lines, guys. You obviously want to go there. I can see it. I feel it in you. Give me your
Somebody
best
here
line.
wants to see the city. We'll show the city during the break. Catherine Parker says, good morning from South Carolina.
Good
Love
morning,
your show.
Catherine.
You and Stephanie inspire so many other women. Thank you.
I should get Steph up here sometime.
Yeah, we should. Lauren Trahan says, hey from Rhode Island.
Michael Strahan? Hi, Rhoda.
Laura Trahan.
Gotcha.
Lauren Trahan from
Hi,
Rhode
Lauren.
Island. Sherry Milligan says, have you been to Cooperstown for the induction to the Baseball Hall of Fame?
I have.
Which
I
one
haven't
were you
been
there
there for the ceremony.
Oh, you haven't? I was there last year, actually, where Pedro.
So is Steve. He goes to every one.
All right, because he's a voter.
Yep.
Right.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. We should do a show from Cooperstown.
Sure. Keep piling it on. Are you writing down all the places we should do a show from?
Connor's actually going to get a pad. He's going to invest in a pen and paper one day.
Who could this be? Should I answer the phone on the air?
Why not? Who is it?
Hello?
What was the place called?
What is Cooperstown?
Oh, Cooperstown.
Okay, we're good.
I thought she said something.
Okay. Lisa Little Maxwell says, Jenna, you keep the prettiest tan.
Thank you. You would too if you sat up here for 4 hours a day. It is
Right.
just beaten down on you. But I have SPS 70 on.
I have to buy
smell
suntan
like
lotion.
a 3-year-old because
I do have to buy suntan lotion.
yeah, I'm wearing the kids like baby bubbies
Thanks for sharing, by the way.
suntan lotion. Felt like you should know that. Your ex-wife is gonna think that's really an interesting scent that she is sporting today. Now, I just want to mention also that I'm leaving for 40 minutes today to go do that special audition thing I was telling you about, and then I'll be back. So when I go, we have this awesome singer Chandler who's going to do some singing. Lance may talk a little. Maybe we'll pine for some.
Okay, not that there's anything wrong with that, Jerry. This was a...
Not that there's anything wrong with that. When Jerry and George were thought to be gay by the female journalist.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know the background to these lines.
Of course.
All right. Lisa Little Maxwell, back to her, says you should do a DVD, please. I
Okay.
think they exercise one.
If Lance can organize that.
If Lance can Lance has enough on his plate right now. What we will do, we actually did do his little video. We should start doing we should do something. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Tara Burke Ray says hello from Maine. Tony Kendall says, hi Jenna and Lance, didn't think there'd be another show till Thursday. Tony, it's every day,
Every day, Tony.
11 till 3.
Oh, maybe because of Yom
the-
Kippur we weren't on last week.
Oh, last week we skipped, yes.
Yeah, but every day we're on.
Holidays. The Jewish holidays were Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, but we're back. Steve Franklin says, hey Jenna from Indy. Danny
Hi, Steve.
Butler says, hi from Georgia.
Hi,
Janine
Danny.
Barber says, what up from Kansas? Steve Franklin says, when do I get to come out and be a guest?
Tell me something about yourself. Anything that you would want to talk about. What would be the first thing we would talk about?
Paco Pryor, somebody else, says, I'll catch up to him if I catch him later, says he went to the videotape. I think he was talking about Want a
Wolf.
wolf? Pago Pryor says, "Oh, is your dad the big bad wolf? Did you get a lot? Did you get a lot of like that growing up? No,
I was Wolfeld growing up.
Wolfeld, right? So nobody went there." Fred Mildorf says, "Go women."
Okay.
Tanya wants to know where have you been. She's missed seeing you on TV.
I'm here now.
Paco Pryor says, "Mulva."
Mulva.
How-
Jerry dated a woman, he didn't know her name. And she's like, you know, a lot of people teased me when I was little because my name rhymed with a female body part. And he's like, of course. And he's like, Ripple? Oh, Mulva. And it turned out it was Dolores.
Dolores. And Paco says, "Dolores."
Yeah.
He has it here. Edward White says, "Not Jay." Deborah Coker says, "Beautiful lady." Lisa Little Maxwell says, "Yay, do it, Lance." I think she's talking about the video. Paco says, "Too bad your name doesn't rhyme with the body part."
Okay.
Susan Bass Card says, "Hi, Jenna. I'm here looking great."
Hi, Susan.
Jenna says, George says, "Jenna, here is George Costanza line. Give me Jerry's line. I want to make a good entrance. I never make good entrances." Do you know what that is?
I thought he wanted to make a good exit. I'm out. Isn't that the shrimp line? The
I'm
shrimp
gonna leave you
store
there.
called.
So Melissa McGee says, "Hi, Jenna."
There's a lot of people in today.
It keeps going on.
All
I
right.
just get my headache going. Paco says it's Paco, rhymes with taco. I guess I got it wrong. Not Paco, it's taco. I thought it rhymed with Waco.
Moving on.
Steve Franklin says, "I am the state youth." This is the guy who wanted to come on. "I am the state youth soccer coach of Indiana.
Oh, wow.
We do an anti-bullying program. We have an anti-bullying program we do, as well as a project to get futsal into the urban schools to help with the obesity issue and youth."
Nice.
At work.
Come on. Talk about it.
So just contact me, Steve. You can friend me on Facebook. I'm Lance Lafer there, or you can
You're
send
so
me.
open about giving all that stuff out. I love it, Lance.
Or you can contact me, Lafer@gmail.com. Same as my last
The
name,
security,
LAI.
social security number.
My social security number
694.
is not out there.
162.
Thank you.
88.
Paco Pryor wants to know, do you have a license for those guns? And
I don't know how to answer that. I don't. I'm reckless, going crazy. We're just driving around without a license. Meanwhile, speaking of licenses, do you know what? I came home yesterday, and you remember what yesterday was? We were coming off that big skirmish that you and I had on the air. I was exhausted. We came home, ran in. I had 5 minutes to come get Harper and take her to karate. And as I'm walking in, I have a lovely doorman downstairs. He's like, "Oh, I have something for you." I said, "Oh, what, a package?" Basically, he hands me half my bumper with the license plate hanging off it. He's like, "Oh, somebody hit your car and this fell on the street, so here."
oh my gosh,
And I'm like, "Well,
seriously?
what am I supposed to do? What happened?" He's like, "Oh, this is New York City." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've lived in New York City forever. This has never happened before." So basically, half my bumper and my license plate is in my apartment right now. So
Ouch.
Harper keeps saying, "You didn't fix this yet, Mama. You didn't fix it." I'm like, "Why don't you fix it?" "I'm fixing it." "Why don't you fix it? It's a Phillips head. Get down to the car, Harps." Anyway, so that happened. So I have a lot to do. I was supposed to get to the post office today. That's always an event. It's never easy.
What are you doing at the post office?
I promised Marv I would send him a book. Even
And
though he
what
could have my book.
Oh.
But he should have mentioned it to me yesterday, so I could have just handed it to him as opposed to going to the post office, which I'm more than happy to do. But I just know me, and things get away from me, and I don't want to leave him hanging. And of course, it got away from me today because I chose working out. I'm so sorry, Marv. I will go tomorrow. No, tomorrow I'm on Dr. Oz in the morning.
What are you doing in Dr. Oz?
We're shooting the studio portion of what I shot in my apartment the other day. We're shooting whether home delivery meals are any better, cheaper, more economical, easier, faster than going to the supermarket and purchasing all the ingredients and then making it yourself.
Why would that be better or worse?
Because because you have to spend money on all these different ingredients to make a recipe, and you'll have all these things left over extra, plus it costs time to get to the supermarket and back, as opposed to ordering these like Blue Aprons or all these delivery services that send you all the ingredients, but just the ingredients for the meal. and we'll have the demonstration tomorrow. I'll let you know when that show actually airs.
I think this is a Seinfeld line. Even Kramer had an intern.
Yeah, Kramer had an intern.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Where is he? Where was he?
But Kramer did have an intern. It was really funny because I remember he what was that line where he ran in and he goes, "I have Kramer on line 2." Line 2? Who's line 1? Oh, that's your line. And do you remember that line? Do you remember that episode where
I barely remember. I've watched a lot of the
where he
episodes.
goes,
For some reason, I don't remember
what
them.
was his
Like, it
name?
was 20 years ago.
Intern's name. He's like, "Nope, I can't. You can't be my intern anymore. It's not going to work." And he closed the door and he opens it right up again. He goes, "You're still here? Tenacious fella. Come on in." Anyway, they wanted to put black oil in one of those big balls. This is going nowhere. I'm not even going to talk about it until I know the exact episode.
Okay.
Okay,
I was
I
actually-
vamped and vamped long enough. We're going to just take a quick break. I'm going to cool off for 5 seconds, and then we're going to come back and talk to
All right,
Chris.
we're going to keep this live.